Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Hello, welcome to episode 109. Today is all about how to find the right mastermind for you. In this episode, Tony and I talk about different ways masterminds have tensions and so many other different components to figure out what fits what you need right now. There's some small masterminds and there's some large masterminds. We're going to go into detail about our own experience with masterminds. Also, we want to keep you updated. We have a mastermind coming up. We're only accepting 6 people. To learn more about that, watch the whole episode. And if you're interested, send us an email at lindsay@lindsaymarino.com. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about how to find the right mastermind for you. This is a topic that is really important because we did an episode actually about masterminds before, but we're really targeting how to find the right one for you in this episode.
We've done 2 episodes. We've done one, what is a mastermind, where we went through that, and then we also did what did we learn from doing our own masterminds.
Perfect. That's good that you remember that because I forgot.
Yes. So in this episode, you're going to know exactly how to pick a mastermind for you. And for those of the people that have not watched our previous episodes, I would say go back and watch them so you're very clear. But just to put this very simply, a mastermind, from what we're talking about, is when 2 or more people come together with the same intention, with the same focus, and then they extract the knowledge, they extract the wisdom for what they need and the resources and everything they need, the skill set, all of that, to actually make that intention happen.
Right. And I think the big misconception with masterminds is the leader is the only one that you're receiving information from, but actually great leaders will make everyone a part of it because we're constantly learning. I know both of us in the school system teaching 3rd grade, the kids would learn from each other, not just from me. And that was the biggest aha moments, the breakthroughs, when another child was speaking too.
And that's the thing. Those of you that are teachers realize that the schooling that you went to at the university and then also teaching in the classrooms, you were getting firsthand knowledge of how to run a successful mastermind. So what we learned as teachers is, like Lindsay said, getting the whole group involved, realizing that you're not just the one that's sharing knowledge. You're actually extracting it from the whole group. You're creating these conversations. You're figuring out with each student, how did you get that breakthrough with math? And then you're actually showing the other students, look, this is how Johnny did it, so you can do it this way. So the same goes with other masterminds that are like that.
Right. And some of the masterminds that we've done and led, one was in St. Louis and it was about business and it was specifically geared towards psychic mediums. So that was one focus. We've also led retreats. So this will be the 4th year of the retreat. That will be September 11th. So we have some psychic mediums already signed up for that. We're almost filled, but there's still some openings if you're one of my students. So do you notice that there's certain prerequisites for some masterminds too? So for that mastermind, the retreat mastermind, I only want people that are my students. That's my thing.
Exactly, because it's very sacred, because we spend 3 days. I stay at a house down the street, but all you girls stay, and then some guys, they have the opportunity to come too if they're your students. But the thing is, you spend this intimate time together. So Lindsay in order to go to that retreat, you have to become a student, which means you're mentoring with Lindsay for 8 weeks. Or you're going through one of her courses, because it's a filtering system. Because the power of masterminds is when you get everybody there with the same clear focus. So the way that Lindsay's filtering is, she wants only serious people that are serious about going deep in their mediumship, serious about their business of mediumship, to all come together, because that's the power of a mastermind, is getting all of those same types of people together. And then think about it. At a psychic medium retreat, if you have all high quality psychic mediums there, like meaning people that are committed to their discipline, don't you think that over the previous year that they all had unique breakthroughs, and now they come together to share that with the group? Don't you think that they all had similar fears over the last couple of years, some of them going through it right now, that they could share the ones that overcame that fear? They could tell you, this is what I did to overcome it. So you could see the power of it through having a filtering system. So we also want you all to recognize that you are already participating in a lot of masterminds that you may not even know that you're participating in, meaning Facebook groups. If you're in a private Facebook group, say it's for moms that sew. Say it's for hairstylists that want to learn better how to dye hair and how to put extensions in and all the stuff that, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Those specific groups that you're in, it's a group of people coming together, extracting knowledge, sharing stories. The same thing that happens at a more high level or a more, I would say, in-depth mastermind like a retreat.
Right. So that's a big thing, is you're bringing in your collective energy into one spot and one focus. And I think the big thing that's important is if you're choosing to be a part of a mastermind, whether it's a Facebook group, because it's happening. I feel like the mastermind that I strictly am focusing on right now for us talking about is those exist, but when you're choosing to be a part of one that maybe you're paying good money, not just a Facebook group where you're hanging out once in a while, but you're paying money to be a part of this, think about what qualities you want in the leader, what qualities you want in the people that are there, how targeted it is for you. Maybe you want it to be more laid back. Maybe you don't want it to be targeted, right?
Right, yeah. Maybe it's like, for example, say you're going to a personal development mastermind to where it's general. It's more general. It's specific in one way, but it's general another way, to where everybody's there and they're wanting to grow personally. They're wanting to figure out strategies and how to break through fears. That's one, to where that's a little bit more general compared to a specific psychic medium retreat, to where we're doing personal development, but we're tying everything, we're doing specifics for psychic mediums or healers or whatever mastermind that you choose. So going on to what you just said,
yes.
What were you going to say here?
I was going to say, I think it matters too, what size mastermind you want to be a part of.
Yes.
Because it could be a 100-person group in a Facebook group where you meet maybe once in a while, or just the leader comes on and speaks and you chime in. Or it's more targeted and structured, like, okay, we are going to do this. There's only 10 people a part of this group, or 6 people a part of this group, and we're going to meet on these days. And the leader wants to structure the times. And I think coming from the teaching background, Tony and I, when we run masterminds, everything is very structured. There is a time with everything. It could be 10 minutes that we have written on the schedule. This is going to take 10 minutes. And the next one's going to take a 30-minute exercise. There's hot seat time. So if you've ever heard of the term hot seats, it's when you sit, you share what's going on in your business or whatever the situation is, and we go around the table and everyone uses their own educated response or experienced response on how to help the person that's in the hot seat, such as us as leaders.
Right, we're just running it, and that's the most powerful thing. So one, what you said is how big or small, because that does make a difference.
It does.
Like if you have a master, so for instance, the retreat, we do 10 people. This next online mastermind we're only taking 6 people. And it's a 3-month to where we do 1 call a month, and we go very deep with these 6 people, because when you have smaller groups like that, 10 or 6 people or 5 people, I feel like
even 15 people is still small, I feel.
And then anything bigger than that starts to get, very big. I heard a couple of leaders to where they ran like a mastermind with like 130 people in the room, and their leadership, the way they led it, it felt intimate.
Yes.
So it's like, it goes back to what Lindsay's point is. It's finding the leaders that you resonate with, and that also know how to run these, meaning they know how to come from the space of knowing how to run a successful mastermind, meaning like they know that everybody that's part of the mastermind is just as valuable as they are. And they're not there to just spit out information and here, I got all of your answers. It's like, no, it's the collective. And it's not only the collective group. If you think how Lindsay and I think, it's the collective group is coming together, and then a third mind is coming together. Spirit, God, the universe starts to come in, and you start to get all of these ideas that you wouldn't have otherwise unless you came together like that. So it's about going with a leader, going with the energy of to where you know that's what's going to take place at a mastermind. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah. And I think Tony Robbins and Dean, they're great at really pinpointing what is needed in a mastermind to make it function in the way that it's meant to function. And we've taken extensive courses and studied the power behind masterminds. And because we've been in the school system and we created our own mastermind in that classroom, I've seen similarities there, but there's a little bit more deeper questions to get people thinking in a different way where you're like, oh, I would never think like that. Like, for example, when we were in St. Louis and we were running the psychic mediumship mastermind, the business mastermind, Tony took time to bring them through a clarity session that he would do normally on the phone or on Zoom with the client, but he did it in person. And the shifts that took place during that mastermind, you could feel the energy in the room with each person having these massive shifts. And they didn't know that they were going to go there through this one question. And then through that one question, they went deeper, and you could see everything transform in them. Personally, business-wise, everything. Now, this brings me to my next point. When you're going to sign up for a mastermind, it's really important that you're ready, if it is a small mastermind, to give yourself permission to be vulnerable. Yes. If you're not ready for massive shifts and you're signing up for a small, intimate mastermind and the focus is about getting accelerated results, you know you're going to have to go deep. So you're either all in or you're all out. And that's why when we create masterminds, we don't want people to be, oh, I'm halfway there. You need to be full on ready. I am ready to tackle this. And I think that's something to look for.
Right. And that's where the power comes in. There's in being vulnerable, being real, and we don't hold back either. We share everything that is relevant.
Every pain that we've went through, every experience that could connect to something.
Like we share some of that on here, but it's like, it's different. More things come out when you're behind the camera, and because that's the point of a mastermind is like, we understand that for everybody to transform in the room, we all have to know this is a sacred space and we're going to be vulnerable. And we might even have a vulnerability hangover the next day.
Right.
And that's actually a good sign. The next day after you attend the mastermind, or if it's a 3-day mastermind, when you leave and you're like, oh my Lord, I feel like, what did I share? That's when you know it was a great mastermind, because there is victory in being vulnerable. There's power in it. And, coming, 10 years ago when I heard about the law of, or actually 12 years ago or so, when I heard about the law of attraction, I thought, I gotta be positive. I gotta focus on that. And not realizing the power of saying exactly how I'm feeling in the moment. And over the years, I realized that's more powerful than anything. Yeah, let's have a positive outlook, but let's say and let's speak what we're actually feeling in the moment to our coaches, to our mastermind groups, to the people when it's present, when you can do that, when you have the opportunity to do that. There's so much power and miracles that take place when you do that.
It's true, and naturally it actually comes out. That's why there is that vulnerability hangover, because you're like, oh, I didn't know I was going to bring that up. But there's a safe place if it is the safe place that you're experiencing in that mastermind. You feel vulnerable, and because when 2 or more minds get together, there's a third brain. That's when all of a sudden you get this burst of energy that comes up out of you that maybe you didn't really truly know that you had on a conscious level, but subconscious, we have that power within us, with our soul, that we brought and rise to the occasion and brought it out. And that's why masterminds are so powerful, and they're very sacred. That's why we're creating this episode, so that you get very, very clear on anything that you sign up for, whether it's a workshop with 100 people, it's a retreat, it's a small 6-person, 8-person mastermind. Whatever it may be, once you're locked in, you are going to naturally conform to whatever is being brought in that group. So it's going to happen. So you need to be really clear on what it is that you want. And I think the intention is so important.
Yes, and here's another thing to add to the intention, so that you're clear about what makes a powerful mastermind. Like, how do I know that if I attended this mastermind and I leave, that I got my money's worth? It's not what you think at first. Like, at first blush, you think, oh, I'm going to go to this mastermind, I'm going to take all these notes, and that's what's going to be it. And what I realized over time, whether it's an online course or a group or a retreat or a workshop, it's good to take notes. It's good to do all of that. For sure, do that. If you can leave with one insight, 2 insights that shift the way that you see your world, that shift the way that you do your business, that has that huge shift in your life, that mastermind was worth it, because that's how you know you'll get your money worth.
That's true. And it's funny because it is one of those things where it is like that moment you do something, even after we run the retreats, when we leave, we're like, what the heck just happened? It's almost like this, for us personally, like we can speak for ourselves. I'm not saying every single mastermind's like this, but we allow the spirit realm to come through too. And we're open to that and we talk about it. We don't hide that. So that's something that's important to us. But when you are able to tune in to whatever it is that you're focused in on, it really becomes powerful, and it does feel like a totally different energy. So you got to go with what feels right in your gut and your heart, and that's really important. Is there anything else that we should share? I think if you've been part of a mastermind, share with us. Think about this. Think about what have I been a part of? What has come up for me that I noticed, oh, that actually, I did feel safe in that class, or that didn't really resonate with me. You know, you'll feel that feeling. Right,
and if you had like one insight, like I was just talking about previously, if you had 1 or 2 insights, think back, what was that one insight that I had from that workshop or that course or that retreat or whatever you attended, whatever mastermind you attended? What was the one insight that you made, you know, to where you took that insight and then you took action? Because that's the other part of it too. You take the insight and then the action comes after that.
Yes. So the last thing that we want to share is we do have a mastermind coming up. This is an intimate group. So this is for someone that wants the small group. We had it at first for 10 people, and then we lowered it because we want it to be more intimate. So it's for 6 people. And in order to be a part of the mastermind, you either have to be a psychic, medium, intuitive, or some sort of healer. So you're working with people or you're trying to help them. I know some people were interested that were, you know, did intuitive work or did some sort of healing work. And if you're not sure if you do that, check in with us and say, you know, does this match up to what you're doing? This is a 90-day acceleration for business growth. So we'll be meeting throughout the months, and we're going to be doing intense work. And it will be all about accountability and being vulnerable. So if you're not ready for that, it's definitely not for you. And you have to be very serious about making sure that you're open to this sort of thing. Anything else that I missed in that?
For sure. Just to add to it, just like you said, this is not for everybody. This is for people who are ready to take action, ready to shift the way that they see the world. And the only reason why I say that is because where you're at right now, the way you think, the way you're acting has got you to where you're at. And if you want to get to the next level, you're going to have to shift a few things. Maybe one thing. Maybe it's just one thing you shift.
Yeah. We hope that you enjoyed this episode and share with us any insights that you had. Okay? Have a good day. Bye. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.